Hello, my name is Jia En and I'm currently a Year 3 illustration student at Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts. So, as an art person, I'm not really familiar with the concept of AI. It's very foreign to me. So for the first 2 weeks of this project, I basically researched all about AI. I fully immersed myself in the world of AI, and what I came up with is that AI is very vibrant, very bold, and very fluid. And this image is what I can best represent what AI feels like to me, with all these beautiful bold colors, and also it's very nice wavy lines. So after researching all about AI and finally having an idea of what AI is, I move on to the character design. Now, when I was designing the characters, because I never really designed non-human characters before, so this was quite an experience for me. So one way that I thought of how to make things easier when designing characters is to basically split it into two parts for the characters. So the body of the character will be the software, and the bags that they carry to school will be the hardware. So the software is essentially the abstract part of AI, like all the numbers, the binary codes, and the hardware, which is the bags, is something that can still remain familiar with the kids itself. Now, moving on to that, I actually need to define the details of the character design itself. Now, a good chunk of the details came from what the children drew during the competition, like what they use for the colors, the buttons that they put on the designs, like the hats essentially. I looked through all of them and I picked out the ones that I found are the most relatable, and I also incorporated into either the software or the hardware part of the design. So after designing all the characters, it's time to finally put them in the story itself, do the pages. So the process is basically called storyboarding. It's basically how we visualize how the story will flow from one page to another. So in this story itself, I think a lot of you know that there was one part of the story where Daisy basically enters the school and she can't see anything because she doesn't have computer vision yet. Computer vision, essentially Aishwarya hasn't arrived yet. So I want to show that visually to the children when they read it, so that they can also experience it alongside with Daisy itself. So I split them the pages into two sides. So basically one would be the light pages and one would be the dark pages. So before Aishwarya arrives with her computer vision, Daisy can't see anything, so the pages are dark. So the background is basically just black with white lines, and only the characters itself would have color. And then when finally Aishwarya arrives, everything would be wow, suddenly all full-blown with colors and shapes and everything beautiful, essentially, so that the children, when they read, they'll be like, oh my gosh, so this is what computer vision does. So after designing all the characters and then also drawing out all the pages, it's finally to put them all together underneath the cover page, which is the most important part because it's essentially what the children is gonna look at first before reading the book itself. Now, when I was designing the cover page, I had a lot of ideas, and one of it is basically to have all the characters onto the cover page because the title itself is Daisy and her AI friends, so all the characters should be on the cover page, right? But a huge part of the story is having Daisy basically go through the entire school and be introduced to the characters one by one, and I want the children to be able to experience that together alongside Daisy. So I thought, maybe I shouldn't add all the characters onto the cover page, or maybe I could add them, but I should make it as ambiguous as possible so that they're still on there but you can't really tell. So essentially, I came up with this idea of basically using basic colors and basic shapes to hint at the idea of Daisy and her AI friends. So Daisy is basically the entire back cover, and her friends are basically in the title itself, but they're just morphed into the words so that it's still there, but you can't really tell, but it's still there. Yeah. So I really like that idea because so from afar, it's still recognizable for the children, and it also contrasts really nicely with the rest of the pages because the front cover is very nice and simple, and the rest of it is very vibrant, very colorful, very wow. So everything will not feel too overwhelming when they all come together. So towards the end of this project, I realized that there were a lot of tough moments in between as well. And one of it is basically drawing everything out after planning it. So although drawing can be very fun and I love drawing, but it can be tedious and mundane when it drags on, and there was a lot of times when it dragged on and I got really unmotivated. And how I got through that is basically I played a lot of music, I danced a lot to give me energy and motivation to continue on. And finally, when I finished up the last page and I took it up and I looked upon it, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty, I'm so happy. And a sense of overwhelming joy just came over me, and I truly felt happy finishing up the project. And when I was looking at it at the book launch as well, I was like, yes, and I done it. This project took a lot of blood, sweat and tears. So if you want to learn about AI or your children want to learn about AI, do support us by viewing the book at any of the NLB libraries, or you can download a digital copy at AI Singapore's website. Now please support us, and bye bye!